And we are back with another episode of the Irish Red Devils. It is Wednesday, the 11th of March. It's been 7 days since Manchester United last played in this horrible season that seems to be a holiday needed between games. The lengths are getting that long. But I'm joined in the studio tonight, as always, by Gags, Madman Martial, and Killian, the football
the
genius.
king.
I was going to call you the king.
Surprise, surprise, motherfucker! The king is back!
We're also joined tonight. It's a full house of the Lynches tonight. We are joined with the beast from the East. Eddie is joining us. Big up to you in East Belfast tonight, Eddie. How you doing, big son?
Dead on, man. South Belfast, actually.
What are you saying?
South Belfast.
South Belfast. It doesn't sound as good. The beast from the East, we'll call it. I want to keep that as your name. But so anyway, boys, listen, we are 5 days away from what I consider to be every game is always the biggest game of the season, but this Sunday is massive. Okay, I'm gonna say this Sunday is one of those proverbial 6-pointers against Aston Villa. 2:00 kickoff this Sunday at Old Trafford. And just before we get going, I just want to bring up, I was looking there, when did we last play Villa? So it was the 21st of December. Seems a long time ago at Villa Park. Villa went out 2-1 winners. Morgan Rogers. Actually, I think it was 3-1, was it?
It was 2-1.
Morgan Rogers got both of them. And that was Aston Villa's 10th win in a row in the Premier League. At that time, they were absolutely flying and we were shit. So where do we fit now coming into Sunday? Things have changed about. I was looking at the last 6 games in the Premier League for Man United. 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss in the last 6 Premier League games. And Villa coming in with 1 win, 2 draws and 3 losses in the last 6. So all to play for. We both currently we're third at the moment on 51 points. Villa are fourth on 51 with us. We're ahead with a 6-goal difference between us. And then hot on our heels are Chelsea in 5th on 48 points and Liverpool on 6th on 48 points. So this weekend, that's what I say this weekend is so big. Essentially, I was looking at who are those other teams playing. Chelsea playing Newcastle this Saturday. Again, Newcastle hitting a bit of form, so we could get something out of that. Liverpool against Spurs, and Spurs are going down, it seems. What do you say? This is not a Spurs channel, but
First, let's get it right. Let's get the first item on the agenda underway here. A la Madrid. 3-0 at the moment against the shitty scum. Come on, Madrid!
I don't know what to say. We were talking about, you were asking about Spurs, weren't you? Like a bit off topic.
Well, yeah, the question was just, very quickly, don't want to get too much. Are Spurs going down?
To be honest, I don't think they will. I think they'll survive. I think the whole prospect of a Big Six team getting relegated is proven to be possible, I think, this season and even last year with Spurs and United struggling. But I just can't see it happening. I think they'll somehow just manage to claw their way to safety, and we're not going to see Spurs in the Championship. However, if it did happen, then that would be amazing. Really would.
Gags, what's your thoughts, guys?
I'm just having a look here. I mean, this is a Spurs team, right? And I know one of these games is the Champions League this week. 6 straight defeats. And the one before that was a draw.
Haven't won in 2026.
Yeah, they haven't won. I'm sorry. These guys are going down, and I'm loving it. You know, so let them go down. Let them go down. You know, let the Championship fans get into that nice, spanky new stadium. Do you know what I mean? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, listen, what I do want to say is, like, compared to other Big Six sides, I don't hate Spurs. Like, but it would be funny to see anyway.
Yeah, but they did beat us in the European final.
Actually, funny enough too, a video just came up back on my timeline again, and it was after the Europa League final, and all the Spurs players had lined up with the Champions League anthem playing in the changing room. So
I'll tell you something else as well. It'll be karma for them, because under Ange Postecoglou, they actually won a trophy.
Yeah.
And all they could do was moan. So what it is, karma's a bitch. Tough luck.
Eddie, what do you think? Spurs going down or they staying up?
Yeah, I would agree with Gags there in terms of karma, because, I think Spurs fans and West Ham fans are just the same. They both won European trophies with their managers and handing their managers out.
Yeah.
So they got rid of David Moyes. West Ham got rid of David Moyes.
Yeah, stupid.
And Spurs got rid of Ange.
Yeah.
And so I prefer if both of them went down, to be honest. But
Well,
I
Wolves
don't
are
think
making
Burnley or
great-
Wolves are going to catch them. But they deserve all they get. And at the minute, I think at the minute Spurs are going down. I think.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
I think if they don't change the manager, they're going down.
I agree. Like I was. I mean, the stuff that happened in Madrid last night with them was unbelievable. I think he'll lose. I think that game he'll lose. Like he's
Is it
playing
back to
Liverpool.
being
Liverpool, like he's at Liverpool at Anfield. They're going to lose that game. He'll be gone. There's talk about Robbie Keane coming into the end of the season. But anyway, listen, that's enough Spurs talk. But just thought I'd bring it up. But what I was saying about. I heard, yeah, there was word, yeah. It would actually be pretty cool to see Harry Redknapp back, you know.
Yeah, Harry Redknapp, Sam Allardyce,
Peter Crouch maybe coming back, and Jermaine Defoe. Crouch, yeah.
No, but getting back on topic, massive game for the Reds on Sunday. I mean, this is a massive chance for United to put 3 points between us and Villa are just like a train wreck at the moment. They talk about no confidence. They're a different team to when we played them at Villa Park. They were flying high. And now it's us. Now, I know we lost last week, and that was unfortunate. But apart from that, we should still have good confidence. We've won, 6 games out of 7 before that, or was it 7 out of 8? I don't know. But we're the informed team. We're at home. So the atmosphere's getting better. As Deck said, he was at the Palace game, said the place was bouncing. So we need to bring that again. And we need to totally just tear into these guys. Because I'll tell you something now. If we can beat Villa at Old Trafford on Sunday, I don't think Villa finished in the top 5. I think they are free falling. I think we beat them. It's almost guaranteed Champions League football for United.
Well, even then, even if we do defeat Villa, we'll be in a very good position, but we can't let our foot off the gas too much because Chelsea and Liverpool are still both very dangerous sides. I mean, Chelsea are playing there now. They're 3-2 down at the minute against PSG. They just scored a goal, but it was disallowed for offside. They're a good side, Chelsea. I think they've done good under Rosenior. And Liverpool, yes, under Ronnie Stott this year, haven't been great. Very inconsistent stuff. We've seen them in the Champions League last night, losing to Galatasaray for the second time this season in a row, 1-0 away as well. So, Liverpool are inconsistent. Still, I'm a fan of Chelsea, but then again, they can be inconsistent as well. If all we need to do is beat Villa, and if we can remain consistent for the rest of the season, then Champions League football, 100%. But even then, actually, I'm actually just thinking now, actually, as top 5 gets into the Champions League, so it could be us, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. So we win this one here, and Villa continue to free fall. Then Champions League football probably should be guaranteed, but it's that is important. We don't let the foot off the gas.
Yeah, and you know, when I was looking at the table there tonight and stuff, Liverpool are actually not as bad form as you think. In their last 6 games, they've won 4 and lost 2. So I had that sense of Liverpool, but listen, Liverpool.
The interesting thing, just looking at Liverpool's fixtures, is if this group of this pack of 3 or 4 teams chasing Champions League stays compact, which I'm not sure if it will. Aston Villa play Liverpool's second last game of the season at Villa Park, so.
We still have to play Liverpool as well.
We still have to play Liverpool and Chelsea.
But that's 2 games to go. Second last game. If we're still in the mix, we'll be looking at that as somebody's dropping points, sir.
Yeah. Do you know what, though? It is exciting because we have 9 games left. There's 27 points up for grabs.
9 cup finals.
Exactly. And like I said, that's why I didn't say this was the biggest game of the season. I said the biggest game of the season to date because there's going to be more. But I really do think this is the games against Villa, Chelsea and Liverpool are going to define our season, and the first opportunity for that is this Sunday. And we know if we're assuming that Spurs aren't going to just change the record, Liverpool are going to win. They're going to finish this weekend on 51 points. That's why we need to, and Chelsea more likely will be a good chance of being 51. We don't want to come out if we don't win. If we lost this weekend, chances are we're sitting then enjoying 4th place, which essentially is 6th. So it's definitely extremely important that we get a result this weekend.
It's non-negotiable. We need to get 3 points. That's it. I don't want a point.
Yeah.
I don't want a point.
Can I come in?
Go ahead, Eddie. Yeah.
I think this is a really, really important match for Michael Carrick. You know, I think, you know, we lost our last game against Newcastle. We're playing a team who we're level in points with Villa, 51 points each. And Villa are on a real downturn. But I think this is a really critical game about Carrick, whether he is in the mix for being the next United manager. Because if we beat Villa on Sunday, we're gonna, you know, the momentum continues. You know, we're heading to Champions League place. That's all good. But you see, if we lose against Villa or even draw, you know, the questions are going to start coming out. And in my view, Unai Emery would be my choice to be the next Man United manager if Carrick doesn't get it. So I actually think this is a really critical game for Carrick, how he does. I think if he gets beat, it changes the whole momentum behind Carrick big time.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good take.
You could almost say that it's a battle of next year's manager then this weekend, if you want to pick it up even more.
And the other thing that will be music to the Glazers' ears and Jim Ratcliffe's ears is that Emery, I think he's going to be leaving Villa. You know, there's going to be no or very little compensation as opposed to any of these other big managers that, you know, we've been rumoured to be, you know, looking at. And that'll be music to Ratcliffe's ears. But there's no doubt about it. Unai Emery has shown himself to be a quality manager. And if the worst case happened and we miss out in Champions League and we end up in Europa League, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed silverware next year.
Listen, if we don't get Champions League football, then all
Unai
bets
Emery,
are off. We're ratting.
Unai Emery loves Europa League. He loves it.
Yeah. You know what's actually good? Actually, I'm not even thinking of the Europa League. I don't, you know.
No,
I'm not thinking about it.
No,
it's
Champions League or nothing.
You know, it's there for us, and we're going into this Sunday. Now, I was having a look there as well because we've talked in the last couple of podcasts about how the last couple of games, first 4 games, great, entertaining football with 3 points every game, and then the last 3 games, you know, it's dropped off. Injuries, you know, injuries that we have is probably a part of that, you know. And looking at, here, we've got a goal in the Champions League here.
Absolute
PSG.
screamer.
PSG.
Yeah, and their third goal was amazing too, but that one was a screamer there. It was brilliant.
Do you know what? Actually, just what am I talking about there? Injuries. Going to come back to that one, right?
Yeah.
I want to come back to injuries, but we're sitting here on a Wednesday night and we're PSG are playing Chelsea on the TV here. 85 minutes gone. This is what we need to be doing. See, this time next year, right? You know the Conor McGregor thing of visualize. You got to visualize this stuff. This time next year, lads, this is us sitting here
We'll
watching.
be millionaires.
We're that's Del Boy. We're watching Man United in Champions League football. That's the goal. That's the dream. Like, let me see this goal here now. You're telling me it was a good one. Well, it did not play well in the podcast. Oh, flip me. That is worth looking up. In fairness, that is worth looking up on YouTube now. Absolutely. PSG.
All I'll say is this time next year when we're watching United in the Champions League, hopefully we're not doing what Chelsea are doing, just folding over here. Well, I mean, Chelsea haven't played bad.
Like, it's 4-2. It finishes 4-2. Chelsea will fancy themselves in Stamford Bridge.
But yeah, I mean, I've been saying it all year. I mean, it's not even just Champions League football we're missing. It's European football in general. You're missing the buzz of the midweek matches. Like, you know, you're missing the buzz of, you know, you're missing that break from the Premier League, and you're missing those trips all across Europe against teams from different leagues. It was very good. And even in the Europa League, like, you do get that as well. Now, obviously, we're in a position where we're done with the Europa League for now. It needs to be Champions League. We need to be playing against the biggest teams in Europe. Because we are one of the biggest teams in Europe. We're done with playing Real Sociedad and those sorts of teams in the Europa League. We're going for the big guns, and hopefully this time next year, this will be us watching the Champions League.
Ultimately, we are Manchester United. Like European football,
Manchester United.
European football's in our heritage, and the fact that we didn't have any at all this year is just the players, as we said at the time, needed to be hanging their heads in shame. What the way we finished, and Almiron has a lot to do with it too last year. So look, they're making amends this year. New signings have helped. Let's push on. Let's get back into the top tier of European football.
I think it'll be very good next year too to see some of our new signings in European football, Champions League football, hopefully too. I mean, I think Cunha's played a bit of Champions League football many years ago, but not in a long time. And Mbumo's never played. Shasko obviously has got a bit of experience. Lamans, and I'm not sure if Lamans has any experience too, but I'll be very excited to see some of these players playing in the Champions League next year. I think Lamans could do very good in the Champions League.
We have to get there first. Yeah. We'll talk about Champions League and how they're going to perform. I want to bring it back to injuries now and this season and this weekend, Eddie, and I want to bring you into this here. So my thoughts on this here, the first 4 games, one of the things we talked about in this podcast was how, I think it was the first 3 games anywhere, he had a settled squad. The squad never changed. I'm pretty sure it was the first 3 games. That has changed since, and I think that has to be considered here. Martinez is out for this weekend. 100 days since he last played for us. He's still out. There's
still been absolutely zero noise about that.
Just his back, that's all. Yeah. But Dorgu's out, Mason Mount's out. Mazraoui went off injured, as we know, at Newcastle. He was back training today. There was photos of him online today, but he's probably 50-50 for this Sunday. That's a lot of injuries. That's a lot of big names. A lot of those players would be on the seat. But Eddie, was I right in thinking, what were you actually saying there, that you would take Emery next year over Carrick? Were you saying that, or were you just asking the question?
I was kind of, I was thinking about it this evening, and I suppose yesterday I was thinking give Carrick the job next year, but I was thinking about this quite a lot today. And I kind of thought to myself, that's pretty mad. Like, if it actually comes down to it, if you actually had a choice from the 1st of July, the next Man United manager was Michael Carrick or Unai Emery, I'm gonna call it now. I'd rather have Emery. I'd take him. I think he's a really good manager, and I think Carrick's done well, but you've got to sort of distance yourself from that and think, well, like, what's his record like? And I think Emery is, there's no, when you actually think about it in the cold light of day, Emery is by far the better manager. So
okay, but
if we have a choice of getting him, I would take him. But I think we have to get Champions League, lads. Like, it's at this stage, Carrick has no chance if he doesn't get Champions League. He has to get Champions League. But and I like Carrick, and he's done well, and I'm not going to be sad if he gets the job. But if it came down to the choice between the two, I'd take Emery.
But would there be any point in having the idea, even if Emery came in?
Oh, hold on, just to interrupt. There's a bit of drama going on here in this PSG match. Looks like a ball boy has been hurt by one of the players, and the players are all squaring up to each other. What is going on here? Were you watching that?
I didn't see, but while we're all watching this, can I just say something about the managers? From what I've seen so far, I don't think Michael Carrick should be in contention as our long-term manager. And that's not a dig at him. I love Carrick. I absolutely love him. I think he's done an amazing job so far. And I believe he'll continue to do an amazing job until the end of the season. And I do believe he will bring us back to the Champions League. But for looking for a long-term manager who can finally bring success back to Old Trafford, I just don't see him. I mean, I'm looking at the performances. And yes, he had a brilliant manager bounce. But since the first 3 matches, the performances have been dipping quite a lot. And I just can't see that working out long-term. Whereas if you got Unai Emery, who, if he leaves Villa, I would be happy to take Unai Emery because he's a serial winner, I do believe. Or as well as that, then PSG manager Luis Enrique, there's talk of him leaving this summer, and there's talk of him wanting to manage in the Premier League. He would probably be my ideal choice as the next manager. Here we go, the ball boy thing.
Oh my God.
Having a bit of an Eden Hazard moment here.
I totally back Neto in that.
So
I can't believe what I've just seen. Just when you thought football couldn't go any lower. So the ball has gone out. The PSG ball boy, who actually looks about 40, right? Right?
He looks younger than me.
Right? Neto has gone to get the ball off him, and the ball boy has turned his back and tried to hide the ball from Neto, right? Neto gives him a gentle push.
That was more than a gentle push.
Not really.
That was.
You watch back,
You saw it
right?
in slow-mo
Right?
there.
He gives him a bit of a push, and the ball boy has fallen on the ground and is rolling over.
He near killed him.
Yeah.
Absolute disgrace.
You saw that in slow motion
Absolute
there. Anyway,
disgrace.
listen. But,
Fucking French.
but here, I have a question for you, Killian and Eddie. You know, you're both saying there about Emery, and I think in fairness to him, yes, he did well last year, Villa. He wasn't flying this year. He has experience. He's won the Europa League, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's won the Europa League many times.
But 100
4
times.
times.
Yeah. Okay, so he's got that, but also, stop distracting me with that football match. I'm trying to talk.
You're only
There's too much going on.
Can I say I was in the middle of my flow
Sorry.
when you stopped me? So
I was.
reboot
I
the
know.
show.
I promise. Sorry,
And
apologies.
you haven't come back to me.
I'm
Too much
going
going
to
on.
come back to you. There's too much going on here. It's too exciting. But I can't even remember what I was talking about there. Hey, Emery, what has happened to him, though? Because, like we just said there, the last time we played them, they were on a 10-game winning streak. Why are they falling down? What's the difference between that and what's happened with Carrick?
Well, I think Emery's proven with Villa over the long term, he's a much more comfortable long term coach. He's got experience in winning European silverware. He's done well with Sevilla. He's done well with Villarreal. He's came into the Premier League. Of course, he didn't last long at Arsenal, but I thought his sacking by Arsenal was pretty harsh, because he was making good progress with them, but it dipped slightly, and they were just ruthless and sacked him needlessly. And then he went to Villa, and he's done an amazing job at Villa. Did they win a Conference League? I don't think they did.
No, not a fella.
But
Yeah.
they've done very good in Europe anyway. They made the Champions League quarterfinals last season, and I mean they've been consistently getting European football too. For a club like Aston Villa, it's brilliant results. And I mean, even though they have dipped this year, and the start of the season Villa weren't great either. Midway through the season, as we were mentioning last time we played them, they were on a massive winning streak, and that just proved that they can still have brilliant spells in them. And even this season, it is looking like they will finish with European football anyway. So for me, comparing Emery and Carrick, if you're looking for a manager who can bring success to United, you have to go for Unai Emery, in my opinion.
Yeah, back to you.
Right.
Apologies.
Yes. I'll think about accepting that.
The floor is yours.
Right. Would there be a suggestion, right, if Unai Emery becomes available and we go for him? And I think we all would be happy if Unai Emery he's a quality manager, as we've already discussed. I mean, I would like the thinking of Michael Carrick still remaining as an assistant, because now the thing that Michael Carrick has, which we all really love, and is he knows the club, he knows what Man United's all about. He's got a good connection.
He's a good lad.
He's good connection with the players. It's obvious, right? So a lot of the time, whenever new managers come in, right, they come in with their own team, right, and there's no, it's a hit and miss whether or not the squad, to get squad, playing their style. I think it could be an important thing for Michael Carrick to say, do you know what it is, Michael? You've done well. We'd like you to be an assistant manager, right? Under Emery, that link's still there, and it's still grooming him for, again, a future full-time manager.
Yeah.
And I think that's...
I'd be happy with that.
And I think Michael Carrick would take that. He'd rather be the manager. But
that's a great shout, absolute great shout.
Thank you.
You see when Carrick was given the job, I remember listening to Talk Sport, and Simon Jordan on Talk Sport was saying that he had heard that Michael Carrick didn't want to be a manager anymore. So I don't know where I don't know where that's come from. I don't know if there's any substance to that. But he said multiple times he has heard Michael Carrick didn't want to be a manager or head coach or whatever it's called nowadays anymore. So that's a really interesting point, Gags.
Yeah.
Like he might be very happy to stay on as like an assistant manager in that role. And that I think that would be a perfect scenario if you had Unai Emery, Michael Carrick staying on, and then some of Emery's backroom staff and then
obviously,
some,
yeah.
there's a lot of people say Steve Holland's very good too. Like, so maybe it's a bit of a mix that, like,
Yeah.
but that's a good shout.
Yeah.
And I suppose we don't really know, but I mean, in theory, that's if we could pick and choose, then that would be good because you're mixing all the ingredients there. But sure.
And before Unai Emery leaves, then on his way to the Theatre of Dreams, maybe he can have a wee word in Morgan Rogers' here. Bring him with him.
Well, do we need him though?
Yeah, we need him.
course
We'll be in the Champions League. We need more players.
We might need to turn our attention to midfielders or
100%.
a new fullback more. Might need that a bit more.
We'll get them
another
too.
backer.
We'll be in the Champions League. We'll be splashing the cash.
Well, do you know one thing that as well that I noticed, and like this is so much. The other thing I want to say is, I think this is so much better than this time last year, and even a couple of months ago. Like, I mean, the fact I'm looking, one of the things that really annoyed me last season was our goal difference. I just really hated, obviously being down the table, but we were always like -10, -15. I was like, this is Man United. Not to sound like Gary Neville, but looking at
I think the thing that Michael Carrick has given United fans is enjoyment again. Now, in saying that, performances recently, past few matches haven't been great, but we're getting wins. We're playing a semi-attractive football at the very least. The players are being allowed to play football instead of being put in a system which they can't play in. And now maybe the players should have adopted better with that 3-back system. But I mean, they weren't being used to the best of their abilities in that system. And now Carrick's came in and he's letting them play football. He's letting them express themselves more. And I think overall the players are enjoying it a lot more. And the fans watching the match too were enjoying watching football again. I mean, this time last year, I was getting sick and tired of watching United play because they were that bad week in, week out. But now finally, we're looking. I mean, people have been complaining, like Mark Wilbur saying, we lack identity now. Amram's gone. There's no structure, no system with Michael Carrick. But I would disagree there. I think that's complete crap there. Because ultimately, the end of the day is playing attractive football, which can get us results. And we have played attractive football at times. And while it hasn't worked all the time, we're getting results from it still, and that is the main thing.
Yeah, were you jumping in there, Eddie?
I do you know what? And I'm going to just contradict myself now. I was looking up stats before tonight's show, and one thing that really surprised me was actually that do you know that Aston Villa and Spurs have scored the same amount of goals in the league this year?
That's an interesting stat, actually. Let me
39.
just confirm that.
39.
It doesn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I had been looking at the
That
top.
shocked me.
I was looking at the top goal scorers, and I was looking to see going into this game. Like, so the BBC website has the top 23, which is a bit of a random number, but 3 United players in the top 23 goal scorers and 2 Villa players. Any guesses there on who is the top goal scorer between their 2 teams?
Between who? What 2 teams?
Between United and Villa, who has the top goal scorer in the league?
Well, I know our top goal scorer is Mbumo, isn't it?
So he's sitting there in 9th in the Premier League on 9 goals.
Okay, yeah.
He's joint, and then
Rogers is probably,
Rogers is 13th with 8.
Oh, so he only got 8 in the
Well, again, he's
league.
slowed down.
And 2 of them are against us.
Yeah.
And then, but joint 13th, Big Benji Sesko.
Look,
he's
on 8 goals.
Look, exactly. Whenever you look at United, we have got Mbumo has got 9. Sesko has he got 8? You got Bruno's
Bruno on
got
7.
6 or 7.
7.
You know, and Uncle Cass has 6. And Casemiro, 6 Premier League goals. In the last season, he had 1. The season before, he had 1. And his first season, he had 4. Casemiro is having a lovely last season for us. Do you know what I mean? Fair play to him. He's stepped up this year, and he's doing. I think he's had a great season, and he's shown himself to be the dangerous midfielder that he can be, and especially he's a great header of the ball, and he knows he's got the intelligence to get in the positions still.
Yeah.
So look, I think it's time for him to move on, but I think he's had a good last year, so fair play to him. But it is better. Okay, we don't have we still don't have like a striker that's hitting 20 goals a season. Which, jeez, how great would it be to have somebody like that?
Yeah, but I do feel like Šeško is slowly but surely making his way into becoming that striker.
Yeah.
And in a few years' time, he definitely could be. But that does bring a question. Do you think maybe in the summer we should look for another striker who can maybe, provide another outlet of goals? Maybe start the odd few games, just sort of maybe even an older striker who can,
Here it comes.
Take Seth's winner's wing.
Go on, say it.
I don't know.
Give me an A.
There's a few names coming to mind. The first one comes to mind is a former player actually called Danny Welbeck.
Right, and there's truth, and the truth shall set you free. And Danny Welbeck is 6th in the top goal scorer.
And Danny
on
Welbeck,
10 goals.
correct me if I'm wrong, did he not sign a new contract about 3 weeks ago
Did I?
for an extra year?
There you
Ah,
go.
well, there you go. He's
There you go.
no good anyway. But no,
No.
yeah, dance. Go ahead, Eddie. Yeah.
No, listen. No, we need Šeško to be the 20 goal a season striker.
Yeah.
That's what we bought him for. That's what we spend 60 million
But
on a
I
striker
think,
for.
but I think what
And
Killian means is to
Mbeumo-
have a proper striker as a backup,
Even a backup, yeah.
especially
Yeah,
if you're
but
if you're in Europe and you
you
need
need-
to change.
yeah.
Šeško gets a knock with 20 minutes to go. Somebody like that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, Rasmus Højlund could come back.
Yeah,
But-
I'd take him.
But
Well,
but,
he's gone.
but like, I actually really like Šeško, Cunha, and Mbeumo. I think they're really good, and I think the rest of the season is really important for them. They need to step up now and drive us to Champions League and show what they can do. I think they're all 3 good players.
Yeah.
But I actually think there were 3 brilliant signings last summer.
Do we have
So
to give credit?
I actually do believe that's the future for us the next few years, and those boys just need to deliver for us.
Do we have to give credit? We've criticised them a lot this season, but do we have to give credit to the Rat for those
No.
signings?
No,
Well, if those boys, Wilcox and the likes, were the ones who made those signings, they got those signings right. So
but Ratcliffe,
Yeah, but-
Ratcliffe doesn't deserve any credit.
yeah, but credit where credit is due too. Like, I mean, we can criticise them 100%, but those 3 signings were very good signings. And if we followed up that with another 3 signings like that this year, we'd be in a good place.
If my brother had been a bird, he would be my sister.
I said that exact same thing to my two girls this morning on the way to school. They looked at me so confused. I explained it to them in detail. Only Fools and Horses, classic quote, and
But
eventually they got it.
it does bring us, maybe, I don't know if it's too soon, but it brings us to the point of our lineup on Sunday, right? Because it is, in my opinion, just following what you're saying, Eddie, that Šeško has to start, okay?
Mm.
Yeah.
Because he is the striker on form. He has
Absolutely.
to start. We're at home, and we need, and again, we are hesitant to this, get the crosses in early. Get the crosses in.
100%.
Don't stop this hesitancy. The ball down the line, put the cross in early. The big guy wants it early. And if he knows it's coming, he'll start making the runs.
Feed the bear.
Feed the burr. The Slovenian burr.
I think Šeško can be, in the most optimistic viewpoint, he could be our best striker since Van Nistelrooy.
Mm. Yeah,
That's a shout.
That's a good shout. Yeah,
I'm really liking the look of him.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
like the look of him.
Yeah,
Well,
big time.
I wouldn't say since Van Nistelrooy. I mean, we're forgetting about Wayne Rooney. I wouldn't put him
Well,
past
Rooney
Wayne
was
Rooney.
different. Rooney, like
But he was sort of a striker still.
Van Nistelrooy, was just a goal scorer. That
Yeah.
was he was just a poacher. Give him the ball in the box. He's going to score.
Yeah,
But
Sexton's just
it
a
is-
goal scorer.
Yeah.
Rooney's more than that.
Yeah, Rooney was.
It's still a big term because I mean we still have had good strikers over the years since then. I mean I know he sort of did become a rat in the end, but Carlos Tevez.
Oh yeah, but even
uh,
him, he had a bite to his game. His thing was his energy. He brought great energy. Like Van Nistelrooy was just ruthless. It was just like
you had
100%.
you had Van Persie. Even if you look at more recent times, Cavani, even you can mention there too. Like it is a big term for him. Like, but I think he definitely is heading along those ways of being a proper goal scorer, one of our best goal scorers since someone like Van Nistelrooy, 100%.
I think if we had got Cavani 3 or 4 years earlier, I think the guy would have been a legend. I always loved
But
him.
he already, I see him as a legend already.
But I don't know if he's a legend. But he was struggling too much of injuries. But when he was fit, the man was good. But we got him again, a bit like Zlatan. We got these guys at the end of their career, and it was great that they played for us. But that's the model we've walked away from now, and it's the right decision. And we're going with the young kids.
Well, do
Shesko.
you know what? Do you know what might fall into our favour this year is that, pardon me, it's exactly. I think I'm right in saying it's exactly a year to the day since Sir Jim announced the new 100,000 seater Wembley of the North project, the circus tent. And so, guys, you sent me a message. What was it? What article was that from the other day?
No, the Athletic.
The Athletic, yeah.
I was reading earlier today, and they were noting that it had been 1 year since that farcical, and I think a lot of people called it out at the time. At the time that this was like a media.
Dreadful.
It came not. I think there'd been a protest. There was a bit of an uprising, fan protest, and suddenly there was this quick story. Oh, we're going to build a new 100,000 seater stadium. It's going to be amazing. And a lot of people were like, oh, we're so excited. And look at this unusual circus tent. And what a surprise. 1 year down the line. And I think the Athletic actually described it perfectly. They said progress on the stadium was glacial.
Mm-hmm.
Glacial. Now, I just saw one of the other news outlets in the last hour or so have posted up that apparently now they're thinking of ditching the circus tent because it'll save.
I seen it a while ago.
I think it had been discussed before. It's been re-reported. It'll save 200 million on the £2 billion construction. Look, somebody in our group, Eddie, do you remember, put a time-lapse AI thing of how they should redevelop Old Trafford.
Yeah.
And it was keeping Old Trafford.
Yeah.
It can be done. The only problem is it's probably a couple of years. Where do we play? Because we ain't going to the Etihad.
Well, do you know what? In fairness, if City get relegated down, they may need the money because they wouldn't be bringing in much money, and we could use their pitch.
I couldn't give a shit. We're not going to the Etihad. We'll go to Ellen Road instead.
But like in serious, that story, like what a farce. So the story has it here that Freightliner, who own the land that the club wanted, are looking for 400 million, which is 8 times more than United thought they were going to ask for. What a joke! Absolute joke, farcical. But I don't think Sir Jim's going to be here too much longer. I really don't. I think Ineos, and especially what's going on in the Middle East.
Well, they're in trouble.
Yeah, that's going to affect.
Ineos are in trouble anyway. They're losing money by the millions. So you wouldn't know. It's big business, and I think part of his business eye has been turned back to his petrochemical part. And
I would hate to lose Old Trafford.
Yeah,
I really would. I would hate, and I love the way the new camp's been done because, it's something about even the camera angle in the new camp. It's still at the same height, so it still looks. Even though the stadium's very different, and it will be very different once it's completed, but I just think there's too much history there, and I don't want it.
It has to be stopped. It has to be stopped.
You cannot erase 100 years of history and all the amazing players who have played at Old Trafford, and all the amazing nights experienced at Old Trafford. I mean, like, forget about from even United. There's been Champions League finals hosted there. We've had Messi v Ronaldo international matches there. So much has happened, and I mean, like it's also big for other sports. Like I know rugby uses it quite a lot too for their big finals. Like it's such, there's so much history, even going beyond United, to knock that down and to rebuild it, albeit a lot bigger. And of course, I do like big stadiums, but it's going to be soulless.
Yeah, that's
compared
exactly
to
what it'll
the
be.
tradition and history from Old Trafford. Completely against it. We have to stay in Old Trafford. Redevelop Old Trafford. Do all you can, but do not knock down Old Trafford.
A new stadium would be a corporate hell pit.
Yeah.
It'll be 20,000 corporate.
Eddie, you like your prawn sandwiches though too. Would you be fancy a new stadium at Old Trafford or what?
That's a really slight on my character. That's I actually no. I want to stay at Old Trafford. I would rather see Old Trafford be redeveloped. I don't like new stadiums, and do you know what? I actually watched the I switched on the Galatasaray Liverpool match yesterday. I don't know whether you saw it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, switching it on, thinking, this is going to be the hell pit that Liverpool have to go in. And I was shocked when I saw it on TV because it just looked, even though the Galatasaray fans are still as passionate and stuff, I was shocked by the look of the stadium. It was just this modern stadium and it just looked so, there was no character. Well, no character. It didn't look intimidating. I couldn't believe it. I just looked at it and was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's not what I pictured for Liverpool going into the night. It just looked like this like Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We know how that has worked out for Spurs. So there is something about your stadium that you have to keep some sort of character to it.
Yeah.
In my view. And I think we have to keep some sort of, Old Trafford is falling down. Like, let's be honest, it's not good. It's not a good nick. Like, it's not a modern stadium, but we need to keep the character. There's too many modern stadiums now that are just like American bowls.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you're talking about Galatasaray, was it Galatasaray all those years ago? Remember us watching it? Was it the Galatasaray pitch where Cantona was assaulted by the police and all after being sent off?
Fighting. Yeah.
Do you know, they've lost
Bring
all
those
that.
days back.
They've lost that heritage.
No.
They've lost those memories. Do you know what I mean? That
It's
really
mad,
was a hell pit.
It was hell.
Yeah.
Welcome to hell.
Yeah.
And I still said their fans were great.
Yeah, but
When I saw it on TV, I thought that doesn't look like hell to me anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
So keep Old Trafford. That's the message.
Yeah.
If Jim Ratcliffe can see this on our channel, please keep it because this is what the fans want.
Well, I'm actually going to disagree there. I think no.
Let the man speak.
Not talking about Old Trafford. I'm talking about the Galatasaray Stadium.
All right, okay.
Okay.
I've seen the Galatasaray Stadium, and I do think it's. I mean, you're saying, Addy, you don't like modern stadiums, and I do get that, but I believe it works for some teams, and I think Galatasaray have made it in a way where, okay, it's a bit more modern, but there still is that sort of rough feeling about it. I mean, if you see behind the net, I believe it's actually all terrace there, so like there still is that bit of a rough feeling, and then up the top corner, the away fans are all sort of caged in. I do look at the stadium, and I do still feel like there is a bit of a rough feeling about it, an intimidating feeling. I'm not sure what the Galatasaray old stadium looked like. I'm sure it was a bit more intimidating, but I think modern grounds do work. I still do believe that things like the Galatasaray Stadium, they do still hold a bit of character. They're not all just soulless like the Etihad or the Spurs Stadium even. Like there are some of these modern grounds which do still have a bit of character, and I think Galatasaray's ground is one of those.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, fair enough. I need to look into it, Killian, before I come back on you on that one. but it's I'm just looking at it from the point of view of the old school stuff, like
well
But I think it is an important question that we need to look at in terms of Old Trafford, how it's developed. Do we, how do we develop it? Because we look at Spurs Stadium now and how Spurs are doing. You've got to say, like, the best stadium in the world, but look at how they're doing. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
Well, listen, saying we're talking nostalgia here, we're talking about old stadiums. Let's talk a wee bit about. I want to shine a light on two events that are coming up in Ireland for Man United fans. So, one of the ones is there's a Manchester United Legends match coming up in March. Let me see the date. The 20th of March. Man United Legends. It's Celtic Legends. Sammy McIlroy, Lee Martin, Clayton Blackmore. David May, who else? That's kind of moving out me there. Celtic players that are. I think it's all for charity. I think it's just a charity event. That's happening down in Cork. You can get tickets for it on Eventbrite. I'm pretty sure it is for charity that as well. And then Gags, you talked to me then about another one that you've seen that's coming up in Dublin.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a wee bit more about that? Have you got that information there?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't have the exact details to hand. It's the 16th of May, and it's for Blackrock Hospice, and it's a Premier League best of team against. I'm not sure who the team they're playing. If it's local people, but it's got United legend Jaap Stam. It's got Brian McClure, Wes Brown, Celtic legend Stilian Petrov, amongst others. Jermaine Pennant, the Liverpool player. Yeah, it looks like it's the game's 16th of May, 3 p.m. at Blackrock Rugby, and it's all for hospice as well. So look, I know we were kind of half thinking about going to that, but it should be a good days out.
Yeah. And I want us to do more of that. I want us because there was an event there last week that we didn't even know about. Brian Robson was giving a speech and stuff in Cork and stuff.
Yeah.
So guys, whoever is listening to this here, if there's any events they got going on across the country, feel free to fire us through this. We'll always give it a shout out. But I am interested in going. I want to get my 1999 original Jaap Stam shirt here signed.
By the big Dutch man.
The big Dutch man. Right, guys, listen. Moving on to predictions for this Sunday.
I'll start.
Let's start. Killian's ready to go. Killian, what have you got for us?
I think after defeat against Newcastle, United will be well rested, and it won't be our best performance, but I think we'll look a lot improved. Home turf will give us a big home advantage. I think Villa will struggle. I think United will win this one comfortably 2-0. I think we'll be on top of them the entire match. Villa just will not be at the races whatsoever, and we will bounce back and get back on track in what should be the end straight of what is going to be a successful run back to the Champions League.
What was it there, sir? 2-0.
2-0.
Gax.
Yeah, I heard him say 2-0 too, because that's exactly the score in my head. I think we're winning 2-0, baby. And I could see Benny Boy Shesko getting both goals.
I may as well give the goal scores too. I'm betting the spot here.
Shesko.
You put yourself in the spot.
I think we'll see Brian Mbeumo score 1-0 up at half time. Second half, I have a feeling Amad Diallo will finally get a goal again. I think he may come off the bench, and I think he'll score later on, 10 minutes ago maybe. So Mbeumo and Amad may go score.
What about the third one?
That's 2-0.
I was trying to catch him out. Yeah, rat you. Right, Eddie, predictions for Sunday?
2-1 United.
2-1 United.
Yeah.
Any scores or no? Just don't care. Just 2-1.
No, not
don't
going
give a shit. Don't give a shit.
I'd be happy enough of 2-1.
Yeah,
I'm buzzing for it. I'm stupidly this 2-0. It sounds too. No, I'm not having it. 3-1 United. Shesko and Mbeumo and Cunha all to get a goal. You heard it here first. And I think it's a massive game. Michael Carrick, huge game for him. It's interesting. And it's going to... we tried to get an Aston Villa fan on today, and I could not get...
Oh, yeah.
If they're, I send messages out to I must have been about 5 or 6 different Aston Villa podcasts and
I want to call
Facebook
that out.
page.
I was so disappointed to hear not one Aston Villa fan in all these Facebook and fan groups, not one
would come on.
had the balls to come on and defend their team. Guys, you know something? You guys are free falling, but where's the support? Do you know what I mean?
But
to me, it's like yellow. It's Marty McFly. It's like, yellow.
Like fly.
But yeah, it is unfortunate. I mean, I run my own Armagia podcast, and I've experienced that quite a lot over the past few weeks. Now, I thankfully I've had some amazing guests on, including one for this week too. But so many times I do reach out, and people just don't message back. So yeah, it is tough. Like, so I mean, if there is anyone watching this who would like to come on the podcast, whether you support United or whether you support anyone else, then do, of course, drop a comment, message Stephen, get on, of course, as well, because that's what makes this podcast special, the fan interactions. We've got Eddie on here today. It's always brilliant to get a different perspective, apart from us here in the studio too, as much crack we do have, of course. It always is brilliant to have more faces on the podcast as well. So, yeah, I mean, you do get that, unfortunately, but as always, if you are interested, get on the podcast.
I should have asked this before we came recording. What are we doing on Sunday? Because we did a live show the last game. Are we doing a live show after the Villa game? Or are you away? You're in Dublin?
No. We're in Dublin Saturday night.
Okay.
No, I'm happy enough. We have to.
My only
Maybe we should not announce it. We should, we keep people guessing. When it's planned.
Yeah. The only thing is
it's almost like the players know it and they get nervous.
We haven't had an awful lot of success doing it, but
so we're not doing a live show.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Cinema. Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. We'll keep an eye on the socials between now and Sunday, and we'll see. I don't know. We just haven't had much joy with them, but they're
we'll do a live show. We'll do a live show.
We'll do a live show.
Yeah.
Okay, Alex is feeling confident, right?
Yeah, we'll do a live show.
We'll do a live show.
Lads. We do have a fella. I have a mate who's a fella fan.
Ooh.
He's on one of our WhatsApp groups. Park,
really?
Right, from Fermanagh. He's a fella fan.
Right.
So I'm going to call out Park now to come on.
In fact, do better not. Phone him right now. Park, you're live.
Come back on that for the after show.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Win, lose or draw, and that's the thing about it. Like because the thing about it is, like, people can see our other whenever we've had other fans on. Like, we're not going to give anyone a hard time with that, but it's a bit of crack, bit of banter.
Exactly.
It's good crack, but it is nice to have other fans on. But yeah, absolutely. Even if you're a Man United fan, Eddie, you ask your mate if he'll come on after the game on Sunday. But if you're watching or listening to this, whatever way you're taking this content, and you know an Aston Villa fan, you say to them, we're looking some Aston Villa fans to come on the show live on Sunday to give us their thoughts, win, lose or draw. And hopefully they do, because it is a lot more fun whenever we do get that interaction. But maybe it's a sign that they're not confident. Maybe they're hiding,
completely a sign, but they're free falling. They're like the Titanic. They're going down, down, down.
I've got all these songs coming to my head tonight. Right, well, we wrap it up there, lads.
Yeah,
anything else? It's getting a bit late here now. Listen, but anyway, like I said, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed this. Actually had we had a shout out to Stephen Rafferty, an old primary school mate of mine, who came up to me the other day and says, I'm really enjoying your podcast. And it was really cool. It was really nice catching up. And hearing you're enjoying it. And I just kind of encourage anybody who's listening to these, get involved. Send us a message. Come on our live show. You don't have to come on and actually talk. Come in the wee chat room, especially when we do the live game shows. Bit of crack, bit of banter. And we're going to have a fourth microphone in the studio very, very quickly, very soon. So if you want to get involved and you want to be in person here, it is a bit of crack in the studio. You're very welcome to get involved. But until then, lads, I will see you on Sunday, Manchester United.
Go on the Reds. Come on, Michael.
Going to the promised land. Name on the trophy. Well, name on the Champions League would be good.
Name on
for
the
now.
Champions League qualification trophy.
Eddie, thank you very much for joining us tonight from Belfast.
Good man.
Good man. Okay,
Good
Killian,
man.
we're rocking. Let's go.
Let's go.
United.
Come on, United.
Sit.
Come on, the
United.
Reds.
20 times when United.
Sweaty